This is simple. Welcome, Karmel, Mancave 23. We need to get one of those fancy openers with this video.
We do.
A couple guys sitting in a man cave smoking cigars. A shot of the cigar bar. Which, by the way, is a shout out to Ray at the cigar bar.
What's up, Ray?
And you're listening to us, my brother, because we need you to stay healthy. Anyway, Karmel, welcome. This is going to be a very interesting show. I can't believe with what is going on in the world, the power plays that are taking place, and everybody's going back and forth. Trump signing the massive amounts of executive orders. What we're finding out about the Treasury, what we're finding about USAID. We always knew.
Yeah,
we always knew. None of it made sense. The amount of money they were collecting, the elements of $2 trillion in debt. Dude, now let me explain this real quick. The debt that we gave to the Federal Reserve for the ability to print, which they don't actually print, the Treasury prints, which they basically back up these notes known as Federal Reserve notes. We pay them an interest premium exceeding $2 trillion a year, more than the military industrial complex totally. We pay just for their right to print, which they don't print the notes and back up the notes and make monetary policies for the United States of America. And they're not even a part of the federal government. What is going on? Is Trump going to get shot again? I mean, that's what happened to JFK. I mean, come on. What's going on? You think they're going to take him out with all this great news that he's handing down to, hey, your greases are over. You're not allowed to pay, and start these different agencies and sub-agencies and black ops, and it's over. I mean, it just seems that way. It feels good. What do you think?
I mean, I like it. I know a lot of people are upset about him cutting money to, like the arts and education and things like that. But I think a lot of these aids and grants had a lot of back end stuff built in that was going to like people and groups you probably wouldn't want money going to. So I'm pretty sure all these grants and fundings will come back. They'll be much more with true integrity going to the things they're supposed to be going to, not like a grant that's going to be for indigenous people in North America or something, but then all of a sudden it's got some kind of like gay agenda in there or some kind of like back end play to some other corporation. And like, what does this have to do with you? Just write those grants up in funds for those people it's supposed to go to. Let us decide whether we're okay with it and keep it pushing. All that other extra stuff is the problem.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, Karma, because everything has been done with sleight of hand, and even these port projects that Congress does for themselves, to try to get stuff passed. They put all these bills together, for their little county, their little state, and next thing you know, there's $2 trillion going to some endangered species, or whatever the number is,
right?
That has a total combined of maybe 10 known within that species left over. And we're going to cut the building off of that entire area. We're going to cut the water. So that's what they said. That's what they're doing in California. All these beautiful farms in California are going to wasteland because they cut the water off due to these endangered species. It's like the humans don't, we don't need food. We need to let the water go out to the ocean to help the delta smelt. Help me to understand this one, Karmel. How does letting water out of I know it's not an aquifer, the big well. How does letting the water out of that into the ocean help the delta smelt? Explain this one to me. How do you let the fresh water out of the container to make sure we got enough to put houses out? How is that helping the delta smelt? I have no idea.
My thing is, what was the problem before? Like, what changed where we needed to intervene as humans with nature and stop something? Like, was the delta smelt having issues that nature couldn't fix, and so we came in to fix it, and then all of a sudden we decided, oh, it's fixed? I never understand, and that's the problem, is we don't question anything. We get told these agendas, causes, here's what we're going to do. We're going to plan for this, this, and that. Like, I will always defer to someone that knows more than me in these sectors. Like, if you could explain it to me and it makes sense, and I just start, a bunch of word salad and gobbledygook. If it makes sense, oh, okay, well, now I get that. Okay, fine.
Yeah, now I get it.
But
yeah, but Delta smelt. Let's not clean up the area around there. Let's not make the insurance companies realize the natural disaster or the man-made disaster that's about to take place. Let's cut all the insurance policies. Let's close off the water. Let's not. We can't let firemen in there at least for a few hours. We just got to let it go.
yeah,
And fires are popping up everywhere. People are getting detained and then released for setting fires. I mean, explain that one to me. There's a lot of stuff going on, Karmel, in this world that is really unexplainable. And then you have a federal judge where there's obvious known fraud within USAID. There's obvious terrorist organization support. At what point do we find out who issued $20 million for Hamas? Now, I get the argument. We're going to keep Hamas from having babies if we give them $20 million for rubbers. We're going to keep them from having babies. We're going to stop the breeding. But, dude, that's $1,000 for all of Hamas for rubbers. You don't need $20 million. No. Do you need rubber training? Do you need to show how you put it on?
Of course.
Of course.
Pay for that.
Of course. You got to fly out in the Learjet.
Yeah.
And from above, you got to have a hologram of how to put the rubber on. Well, they're too dangerous to
look. They also have to make sure that the rubbers are not made with pork, so they got to be halal rubbers. They're probably made with lamb skin. Lamb's not cheap.
Lamb is not cheap. No. Yeah, but you still. I mean, the lamb rubbers. I have no idea. I mean, can we discuss that for a minute? Just what is the cost of rubbers? I have no clue.
Yeah.
But come on, Karmel. I mean, USAID is just they're placating to the Taliban, they're placating to Hamas, they're placating to all these people, and in the tune of millions and billions of dollars. And the Treasury, the United States freaking Treasury, cannot even give an account for what this $1 billion payment's going for.
How is that okay? Dude. People, the general public, have to make an account for the $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 that they make. These poor people who are in some countries or some parts of our country.
They're going to track the accounts. They're going to track the accounts. They're going to find the people. And I have a feeling,
I hope
bro, so. I know. Listen to me. That's the new white elephant. Okay, we got a lot of white elephants. We got pharma. We got, all kinds of white elephants. These fires, GMOs, chem spraying. We got a lot of stuff that I haven't heard anything or seen it get stopped. Obviously, 1 month into it, great job. I've seen a lot of good things happening, whether he knows what's going on. But I just saw him on an interview the other day saying, I've been boosted. What? Are you not reading Vayers? Are you serious?
What does that mean when we say boosted? Did he say he took a jab or did he say he was boosted?
Okay, so
you can get boosted.
So you're saying that Trump has a definition that he's posted online that is different than the definition that we know of as being boosted.
Hey,
which is completely plausible, and I will give you credit for saying that and bringing me back to check. It could maybe mean his wife.
He could pick a vitamin C.
His wife boosted him last night. That's what it could mean.
Could be
You're
anything.
right. I'm wrong.
It could be
I'm
anything.
not going to assume anything.
Because look, we know that Trump is a very smart, shrewd. He speaks well. He understands. Even if you think he's crazy,
I don't know if he speaks well, but he is smart.
He is smart. He doesn't ever say something that. Look, most of the time, even though he's wild, it's usually true. The thing he is saying, he may say in a very wild, without the filter that most people would use. But when you go back and really start chopping it down, you're like, yeah, that's kind of on point. He is wild and crazy, but he usually says things that are on point. And people who write for him are very shrewd writers. So him saying I got boosted versus saying I took another vaccination shot or jab, it's different.
Is it?
It definitely
Karmel? Is it different?
100% different. You can take a vitamin C.
I hope you're right. I just have a feeling we're getting the shaft. and nobody's talking about how deep the shaft is about to go.
Wow.
Just, I know that was raw, but real. That was raw, but come on, Karmel.
We went from rubbers to raw. We went from rubbers to raw.
I was not trying to make an innuendo.
Rubbers to raw. That was quick.
I guess. Okay, now hold on a sec. Now this is where the range of understanding words and wordplay may be different between races. If we can go there.
Sure.
Raw to me is sushi. Raw to you is what?
No rubber. It's going raw.
Oh, snap. See, I never knew that.
You didn't know.
You're raw dogging it. Oh my God, you're right. You're raw dogging it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going in raw.
Okay. Come on. I'm getting into the lingo. I'm shamefully admitting something. My youngest daughter said something to that degree, and I don't even remember the conversation. I'm like, what is that? That's how I learned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She wasn't hold on. She wasn't oh, there we go. Watch now. Okay, so we are live. Good. We're live on both. I've been trying to make sure we're live on HISadvocates TV in the background, and we are, and we're live on the other ones, and so good.
Nice.
So, Karmel, a federal judge told President Trump, stop, or you will be arrested, and restart the funding through USAID. How do you feel about that?
Can a judge do that?
There's 3 branches of government, and they, if Congress has voted for something, then that's one branch saying yes. But I have a feeling that when the law determines the fraud within the organization, that the investigation was allowed to make the determination to stop the funding until further notice, and it's really what it is, until further notice to make a determination of what these are actually going towards. But for a judge to find out, and Karmel, I'm sorry, Black Lives Matter was funded by USAID, not by Black people.
Nope.
No, and by the Democratic Party largely.
Go blue.
Which does not support Black people. I don't think really either party does, to be frank with you. But
no,
you do have a month. You do have a magazine. You do get a lot more grants, and you can get a job a hell of a lot quicker than me. I'm just saying.
Well, look, here's the thing.
Times flip, times change, but now Trump wants to bring it back to a merit-based thing. But let's go back. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
All right. What are you thinking about this judge? I mean, I think if you find fraud, you're going to find the element of the ability to stop it, wouldn't you think? I mean,
look,
you're funding a terrorist organization.
Yeah. How? So this is what I'm saying. If the funding is, if something in that fund, that grant, if 80% of it is on point with stuff we would want, and then 20% of it is going to some kind of foreign aid that people we don't want to be supported or funded, you have to stop the whole thing. So this judge saying, hey, no, you can't do that. Like, if the executive branch and the legislative branch are all aligned, how does the judicial branch get to say something? Like, no, the other 2/3 say, no, we're shutting this down. How does a federal judge in Rhode Island get the ability to stand up and say, no, you're going to get arrested if you don't? Like, what? So that only shows me this judge has got something going on in the background. He doesn't want to get stopped.
Dude, they're in fear, man. Barack Obama's the one that's behind this. He's pushing. He promoted that federal judge, or appointed that federal judge at the very minimum. So to me, it's kind of crazy to think for a second that we are, we're dealing with this kind of stuff. And look, I'm looking at a picture right now. I want to show it so bad. The question is what is a terrorist, Karmel? I mean, because if they are funding these kinds of organizations like Condoms for Hamas, no matter how you look at it, for a fact Hamas doesn't have more than a few thousand, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, whatever. 10,000 is max in my opinion, members. And I don't know what to make about that situation, because you and I are both learning a whole lot of new things about the term Israel and, you know, what that actually means. You and I are starting to have a different understanding of the way that Israel treats people and the way that these people treat Israel. And I think both suck. There's no winning there.
Nope.
But, you know, I'm like at this point, Karmel, where I think to myself, it's so blatantly obvious. You know, it's so blatantly obvious that when you're funding an organization that's crushing entire towns with rocks and, you know, whatever, and, you know, there is, to a degree, a reason for anger from a lot of these organizations. There is, but there's also a peaceful way to accomplish the things to which, you know, we're trying to get accomplished. Like, there's, to me, it just doesn't seem right that you're able to go and take away from somebody something they've worked their entire life for. That's not fair. And the reality is, I think for myself, if I had a business and I was working it and some crazies were throwing bottles through it and what have you, you saw that movie Purge 3 with my friend Michael T. Remember when he was a store manager in Purge 3, and that was actually a decent movie. And it's the night that America is moving towards, you know, where we will make it absolutely legal to do any kind of crime, because that seems to be what is going on in this nation. No matter what, people are allowed to do crime and get away with it. And especially if you have a job called congressman, or, you know, you are of a family that's of 4 names in California that seem to hold all the power. Without, you know, talking about them. What is it? Getty, Brown, Pelosi, and what's the fourth? Newsom. I don't know. Anyway, I have a feeling like we're at this point where if you're like getting in the way of their crime, you better, you know, because when you're talking trillions of dollars, when you're talking the Federal Reserve makes $2 trillion in payments off of money owed for money they didn't print. All they are doing is acting like they are in control.
Yep.
That's it. It's a small board, not a lot of employees at the Federal Reserve, not a lot of need. They hold meetings and act like they're in control. When you start messing with $2 trillion annually to the families that rule this world on the take, you better make sure the military-industrial complex loves you, and they haven't got back doors into the military, because Trump.
Well, that's the thing.
Starting fires, bro.
That's the thing. There's a TV show, and I've gotten heavy into TV shows lately because I feel like there's a lot of truth in these shows. And I mentioned one to you that you should watch called Paradise. Another one I just
on what again?
It's on Hulu. On Hulu. But there's another one called Lioness with Zoe Saldana. Very good. But the stories in the show, you know, they're not fiction. They're coming from a source of truth. The stories in this show are so interesting. And like, if this is anything like what's going on, you really have no shot. Like, it's really, you have to completely just disconnect from our government and the society, because there's just no way. Like, in watching the show, this one thing stood out to me, and I'll pose this in our show here. We have American bases, like in certain countries, like in Iraq and Afghanistan, Syria, whatever, where we can fly in, have safe passage, land in our base, do work, and leave. And if we need to take care of stuff, we can, you know. And in the show, it shows some wars that, you know, pop off because Syria, whoever came to our base or our little area. And I thought to myself, there's not a place in our country that has Iraqi bases.
No, heck
Syrian bases here, but we have.
No, there's embassies. There's embassies, but and they do have military here. They do have military here.
I've never seen an Iraqi military base.
Oh no. Heck
That's
no.
what I'm saying.
Iraqi? Are you?
Yeah,
They're crazy.
any kind of
They are almost as crazy as this group right here. All I typed was crazy lesbians. Now that's crazy. You know, there's a lot of love there, Karmel. I'm gonna get that off the screen now. There's a lot of love there. Don't shame them. Don't body shame them.
I'm not shaming. It just caught me off
Don't
guard.
rainbow shame them.
It's caught me off guard.
Don't you dare.
Well, see, it brings me up another story. Have you seen? So you saw Kanye West's post, right? His new shirt that's coming out.
No.
It's got a swastika on it, but just a swastika, nothing else.
Well, and what is that origin?
Its original origin is either Jainism, Hindu, African. It's ancient. It means prosperity. Has nothing to do originally with Nazis. Now you just said like right now, rainbow love and lesbians, and it's the same situation. That group took over the rainbow. If I do wear anything with the rainbow right now, it's an assumption that I'm gay.
That you're
Same
gay.
thing with the swastika. I know what Kanye is doing, and
it is kind of gay no matter what for a guy to wear a rainbow shirt.
Why? Why?
It is, and it's not even because of the gay flag or the gay takeover of the rainbow. It just is. Come on, you see a dude wearing a rainbow, you know he's sensitive.
Let me ask you this:
he's a little light in his loafers. He may not like girls. But that's gay.
Hey, is God gay?
So okay, all right.
Because you know where I'm going.
Another show. You will get every pissed off Christian in the world coming on and watching if that's what you're going for.
Because God,
going back to Kanye on the swastika, that's what he's going for.
God,
let's bring, as a new Christian believer, Kanye coming back to the Lord. Let's bring our wife and take off all of her clothes, make her stand there so we can get him to buy more shoes. What is up with that, dude?
I don't know. That's
dude. Come on, bro.
Well, hey. I don't condone a lot of stuff that Kanye does, but I understand what he's trying to do. And to some degree, he's trying to create controversy to let you know that the thing you think this is, it isn't. Why his wife or whoever she is out there naked is another story. But whether it's the swastika, the anti-Semitism term, which is not exclusive to Jews, which I'm glad he said that, and other things, he's trying to reveal something in a very bold and outlandish way that thing you think belongs to somebody else really doesn't. And the swastikas, there's buildings on this soil that are shaped into swastikas. I think there's one in
San Diego, Federal Military Base.
Okay, so why did the Nazis tap into that? Because there's power in that symbol. Not that the symbol represents evil. There's power in that symbol. And this is another thing I keep bringing up, even with us, is that we look at things that we think are evil. And it's not that thing is evil, but a group or a person used that tool for evil deeds.
Fair enough.
The symbol itself is not evil. It means prosperity.
I am not walking out there with a swastika symbol on my arm.
Hey, come on, Kelby. You don't, yeah.
Hey, bro. I'm just tapping into power, man. Come on. Come on. I'm just trying to, elevate myself, enrich myself.
But it's funny.
By the way, I showed you this earlier. I want to share it with everybody. I got a grounding mat. And no, I'm not trying to make money on it. Maybe I should, but I'm not. This is a pin, and the grounding mat is right here. It's underneath my keyboard. And super important to get to grounding because it's starting to affect the people. I'm just doing a quick help, a little health help, not a doctor, don't want to be, but I can kick a lot of doctors' arses pretty easily. This is a pen, and you can put it on your arm. It's not going to light up. You can put it here. You plug this mat into the ground of your house, which goes to the earth, and it lights up. So what I'm doing is I'm refreshing my body all day long now when I'm working, standing here with my elbows, my hands, my whatever on this grounding mat. So that's the kind of stuff that's, that's next level for people. And we're going to be, I'm not wearing a rainbow.
Why not?
I can wear a grounding mat.
Why not?
The determination for the mass volume of people, if I wear a rainbow or a swastika, I'm a racist fag.
Yeah.
Right? I said it.
Now
Fag is back, baby.
I'm gonna write this to Kanye. Kanye should make a shirt with the rainbow-colored swastika. He'll sell out. That'll be
Oh
the
my
biggest seller
God.
ever.
With the easy
Rainbow-colored
shoe. He should
swastika.
put it on. He should put it on the sleazy easy shoe or whatever he calls it. Yeezy
Yeezys.
or
Yeah.
Yeezys.
That or a bundle of sticks.
Yeah, bro. I don't get Kanye. So back to the threat of arrest on Donald Trump. Where are you at in your mind with what if for the next 3 or 4 years nothing gets addressed? Because RFK just got into the office. He got approved. We've got the appointee for the DOJ approved. Like, let's go through this because these are hardcore people.
Mm-hmm.
Kash Patel, did he get in?
Yeah,
I'm not
in,
following.
Right?
Is he the head of the FBI? Find out in the background on that, if you would.
Yeah.
Think about this. Those are 3 of the most solid picks you could ever want to have for those 3 positions. What do you think they do? Do you think they get sat down in a room of like 50 people? Like, you remember what happened to Jesse Ventura when he became governor? He was invited to the White House. They brought him down to the basement, and they surrounded him with about 30 people. And they started asking questions about how he got into the office of governor for whatever, Vermont, whatever it was. Minnesota, whatever. And so the point I'm trying to make is, do you think like they're going to pull Kash aside, and sit him down and do a scare tactic on him? This is how things are. This is the way that it is. And if you don't, your entire family is destitute and dead. And some unforeseen, godforsaken threat under duress, he's going to have to perform that position, doing whatever they ask. Do you think it's like that? Because I know Congress is like that. It's got to be. But here's the one thing Trump did today. Super proud. They're going to start investigating the people that are making millions of dollars on a low to moderate income salary of being a senator. Nancy Pelosi, $500 million as a public servant. How is that?
Elizabeth Warren. Same thing.
Yeah. Bernie.
Yeah. How you work?
Bernie saying, I never got one donation from Big Pharma. Not one. Bull crap. 1.5 million.
But here's the thing. What if Bernie did not receive money from them?
No. See, they're using words and wordplay. They're using, I personally did not, but my PAC did. Yeah, you're right. And so American people hear the wordplay of nor none of my PACs, nor none of my people, nor my mom, my sister, my brother. That's really how they need to be answering, but they're not. Yeah. They're not.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, Karmel, because we actually are here to the point where we are watching the show and we're liking what we're watching for the first time in, 8 years.
Right.
16 years. The first time ever, maybe.
Yeah. And this is
I've
why
never seen a show like this.
This is why I was really trying to get people to understand whether you like Trump or not. No one has really been trying to help this country like he has. What regardless of what his affiliations and what he really. He's been here for going on 12 years now. Think about that. His first term, lost the second run, came back for to try it again, a third time. This person has tried to run this country now for a third time. How many people can say that they've gone to that extent and try and do whatever it is? And then the things that he's actually doing, I'm aligned with a lot of it. And I didn't vote for him. So it's not something I'm like, oh, this is what I wanted. But
I got a personal question.
Happening.
Are you gay?
I'm very happy.
That's what I wanted to hear. Let's take it back. Let's make a shirt. Gay and proud. Rainbow.
I'm telling you. I would rock it. I'm not scared.
And then define it. Define it right here.
Yeah.
You know something? That would be a seller.
100%.
No, it wouldn't. There isn't a damn guy in the world that would buy that damn shirt. We would be broke. That'd be a broke business opportunity, my brother.
The words are interesting because, like, The original meaning, I think, of the word nice, if I'm not mistaken, was dull or stupid. And there's a lot of words that we use to this day that we think are like originally meant something else, but we use them now much differently. So I think a lot of, and this is what we need to teach people, is the words you hear in the news, the words you hear in press conferences are oftentimes tailored and curated to say certain things. And if you think what you hear is, I didn't receive any money from anybody, and then you come to find out, well, their foundation did, or their PAC did, or some kind of thing they had that they have control over, is no different than the things that you're trying to teach them with your program.
And that's the latest and greatest. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. That's some skillful word articulating.
Yep.
What was sexual relations as defined in law? What was sexual relations and defined in his I mean, I guess laying back, getting fellatio from your secretary, you know, is not really sexual relations, is it?
Yeah.
If it's what one deems to be the word sexual.
Right. If it's not a type of vaginal intercourse happening, then, you know, this was not a sexual relation. That could, who knows what the definition he's using, but that's, you know, that's the thing. I just watched a video talking about that, you know, wordplay, double meanings is taught. It's a thing that is taught to government officials and the FBI, CIA, and the way to condition people to want to get them to say certain things, and also to get them to think something based on what I'm saying. So they said that happens most in government and education.
Dang.
It's scary.
Yeah, I feel like we got let down for a long period of time. We're getting elevated back up with the mindset of, you know, bringing forth some of the most massive. This is the slippery slope. I mean, the power that Elon Musk is now getting.
Mm.
The power. Think about this. How much, if he was on the take, how much would it cost? At what point? I mean, this is a guy who, look, somehow he never made it out into orbit. If you ask me, he's placating he's getting grants from the federal government to get him to Mars, which I don't think you can get out of the dome. Excuse me. The what do they call it? The cover, the second heaven. what do they call it?
Firmament, you know.
A firmament. No, what does man call it? Anyway.
What the Van Allen belts?
For the record, I saw a video. I gotta do some exploring on it. But this is one of the most staunch supporters for a globe structure of the world. He got brought down to Antarctica by 4 flat earthers, and they brought him before the camera, and he said, "I can't say that the Earth is, but I was wrong, and completely wrong." And he showed the sun going around the horizon, all the way around, never disappearing behind the Earth.
Mm.
And so depending on where you're at on that concept of flat Earth, and I'm not about 42%, you know, of a believable concept, but once I found out the moon landing was faked, and you got to watch the lights fall from the ceiling, and Stanley Kubrick admitted it, and Stanley Kubrick put it in future movies like The Shining, where the little kid wore the Apollo 11 shirt. And then once you see Buzz Aldrin at least 10 times on YouTube say, "We never went to the moon, and that's the truth." Once you see that, you start questioning everything, because I was so excited you know, in 1965, whatever is in the nine, when I wasn't born yet, to watch TV and to see somehow that camera get placed outside of the ship and watch him jump down and be the first man on the moon.
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah.
You know, okay, so there's got to be a lot of smart people out there going, who placed the camera? You know what I'm saying? You know, what did they do when they were landing? Okay, go throw, you know, and then boom, it landed. Oh, great, it landed. We got it. We got it.
Right.
They didn't have Wi-Fi.
The camera landed first.
Yeah, the camera landed first. They didn't have Wi-Fi, so
Nope.
they couldn't have thrown a camera out that wasn't corded.
No.
You know, none of it makes sense, Karmel. None of it makes sense.
Not to mention, if you watch Neil Armstrong, there's a video of him walking out of a facility somewhere, and a guy approaches him.
Put your hand on the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Won't do it.
Yeah. No, I mean it's. Hey, you know, it was pretty dang emotional. One small step for man.
One giant leap for mankind.
One giant leap for mankind. Come on, dude. I was crying, dude. I was 4 years old watching a repeat of something. I was crying. We went to the moon, mommy.
Which is
I
crazy.
got had.
What's crazy is just think, and now we can think, you know, with our logical minds, the distance from here to the moon, right? There's a huge delay. How is he speaking and talking, and we're hearing it at the same time through a broadcast? No one's thinking about that. No one's thinking, oh, he's literally jumping, saying these things.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no high-speed broadband, right? And one of the biggest ones is the person who helped found NASA before NASA was called something else, Warner von Braun. Hey, you familiar with that name?
Yeah.
Who was also a Nazi, by the way. On his tombstone is Psalms 19:1.
Oh, the description of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Why would he put that on his tombstone?
I don't know. Why aren't people able to? Oh, I'm gonna have to edit the video and let comments rise. I put made for kids. It's not made for kids, and that way people can make comments. So I just opened up the comments for people down below. Do me a favor, refresh your screen. My apologies. I don't get everything right, Karmel. I'm not perfect, bro.
It's all right, bro. It's okay. You can't help it.
I'm not perfect. Anyway, so you're 100% right, buddy. We're at this stage right now where I'm seeing I'm seeing a lot of stuff getting played out, but that's again one of the white elephants in the room. But Trump did take care of a white elephant, so let's give him credit where credit is due, and that is JFK unclassifying the files.
Yeah.
And it has been determined that there was a CIA op, and there was definitely a tie to the mafia, and definitely a tie to Lee Harvey not doing it, and definitely a tie to LB Johnson. So
that should be a huge deal.
Right, and there's no news on it.
This might be this is probably one of the most tragic moments in American history. And come to find out it was perpetrated by our own government, should be absolutely on every single news broadcast.
But it's not.
Daily. It's not.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Because the people who wouldn't want people to know, or who, as you mentioned, JFK was probably going against the same people that Trump might be going against. Yeah, probably didn't want that news coming out.
So how do you think RFK is going to handle the industry called Big Pharma that just in this nation alone, 4 billion prescriptions a year now? Look, I know prescription drugs kill my dad. I know prescription drugs kill people all the time. It's almost like you get a certain set of prescriptions every time when you get old. It's almost like everybody starts to get Alzheimer's, dementia, all the same things over and over, just
Mhm.
common ground. And it's only if you really discovered the truth behind it. It's after you've been taking a lot of prescriptions or whatever. Your lifestyle's the same. You're drinking soda pops. You're drinking. At what point are we gonna, our health? We are the fattest, and I'm right there, guilty. But I eat pretty good. Today I eat horribly, Carmel. I went to breakfast at this Mexican place down the street. My
Mm.
eggs were bright yellow, undercooked. The chilaquiles, disgusting. I barely put down the whole plate. I mean,
Sound like you had a bad time.
but the reality is for me, it was I started to realize my health is super important, and that's where I'm hoping that this administration really starts to stand up on health, because there is 17 million people that have died due to the thing that's been going into people's arms for the last 5 years, and so it's a worrisome thing to see Trump, talking about that kind of stuff. Like, that's what he did. I got boosted. Like we said, what does boosted mean? Trump, here, let's look at it. Saying I got boosted. Here he is. So let me pause this. Hold on. Let me share this. Hopefully you can hear the thing. Here we go. Hold on. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not it.
This was a scene nearly 1 year ago in Times Square. Just a handful of guests, including healthcare workers, allowed to turn out to watch the ball drop because of COVID rules. So what about this New Year's Eve? Well, even though Omicron, a Republican, was booed in Texas when he and conservative political pundit Bill O'Reilly said they both had their boosters. The reaction reflecting the political divide over vaccines in the U.S.
So they didn't show it, which kind of bums me out. I think if they were to actually show it, and this is important for people to see this for themselves, not to see him saying it through a third party. I want people to see it, and this is one of the reasons why I'm disgusted about this. You're placating to something, and that's 3 years ago, but you're placating to something that a lot of people were having misery with. There's a family member friend that is wheelchair, invalid, can't speak anymore, and the only thing that changed in his life was 3 things that were injected into him, and that's, to me, a very scary thing for the public at large. Did you ever see the 2016 show on oh God, what was the name? The X-Files.
Mm-hmm.
They gave the exact description of COVID and mRNA and how it changes your DNA, and did the whole permission, not permission thing, and how do they do what they're doing, and the law that allows for them to do it. And they just gave the whole thing. I'm like, Oh my God. And then the 2005, again, another style pandemic breaks out, and they're showing this all. And so it's whatever, it's full disclosure. But today, if you go onto VAERS, and I haven't done this, but I did it a long time ago, and I found millions of people on VAERS sick due to the shot. And so what's your guesstimate? How is RFK, being the fact that his uncle got shot, his dad's friend got shot, his dad got shot, I mean, what do you do with that? Everybody around him dies when they stand up. You think he's going to stand up?
Well, I think what's important is, and what I think he'll do if he's smart, is educate people on choices. Because that, what I think, is the issue. Educate people on what your options are. For example, looking up the medical dictionary, the term booster dose is a dose given at some time after an initial dose to enhance the effect of usually an antigen for the purpose of producing antibodies. That could be anything. You could take anything, and then a second dose
that could be hydroxychloroquine. You're correct.
Right? So now if I'm RFK,
Ivermectin.
if I'm RFK and I don't want to upset those folks who might take me out, what I can do is not combat them. That's an option. If you would like to take the vaccine, there you go. Here's also in health a natural option. Here's like a homeopathic option. It may not be as effective. It may be more effective. Here's your two options. Then it's up to us as a people to say, okay, I would prefer the homeopathic, naturopath version. If you are a person, and there's people out there who swear up and down by the medical industry, and they will never back away from following those guidelines. If you choose to get boosted 85 times, it's your choice. But give people a choice. That's the thing. If people aren't given the option to choose, and you've been told it's a vax or die, or it's a vax or lose your job, or it's a vax and you have to get out, or you can't come in, that's the problem. Just give people the option. Hey, if you take this could help. If you take this could help. Red pill, blue pill. Really give people the option, right? I think that's what RFK is going to do. I honestly don't think he's going to go in and try and attack big pharma, but maybe weaken its grip by giving people more natural options
and make it profitable for him.
Yeah,
it doesn't always need to kill people to be profitable. We don't need that. I mean, but that's the global order agenda. Okay,
and at the very least,
bet?
he's gonna at least give people some motivation to look healthier compared to Rachel Levine, our former assistant health secretary, because I don't know how the hell she got that appointment looking like that.
What is your prediction on Fauci? Jail, no jail?
No jail. He's gone. He's in the Maldives somewhere. He's in Bali. He's gone. That guy's been doing this for 30 years. They're not touching
immunity.
Yeah. He gave the public AIDS. He gave the public COVID. Yeah, he's good.
I told you about the well, I think you probably saw it on my Christmas tree this year. Yeah, I got a Christmas tree. There's a lot of believers out there that think, oh my God,
such a
Kelby has a tree. He doesn't believe in God. Dude. Anyway. Don't Fauci up my Christmas.
Yeah. You told me about that.
I love that ornament. It's one of my favorite ornaments.
I just watched the documentary on that guy. Oh, thank you, Dr. Fauci. Have you seen that documentary?
No.
Oh, go watch it right after this. Thank you, Dr.
Bro, I don't get the time like you, lazy people out there that just watch TV all day. Oh, research.
It's research. It is research. That's why I have the information.
I'm going to give that to you, Karmel, actually, because that is actually truth. There's hidden stuff in plain sight that they're showing that we just need to look at and not you're just not just watching it, but you're figuring out the way out of not becoming a part of it by advanced studying what they're doing, what the plans are. So I 100% agree with you. I'm just giving you a hard time because you're black and it's easy.
Everything I watch is with those glasses, though.
Why don't you make white jokes, dude? How come? I mean, it's funny.
How come I don't make white jokes?
Yeah.
Because I'm white.
I mean, you're a black. You're a black comedian, dude. I mean,
what definition of black
that's something. You remember that one black comedian at the show you invited me to? Was so racist.
I remember.
And then the girls that were with him called Michael T. The N-word with a double, middle finger. Yeah. Remember that? And there was almost a big old fight. And
I remember that.
We're right in the middle. I'm feeling like I'm 21 again. Let's go. Know it. But dude, there is a lot of racial divide, I guess, here in Orange County in bars. Michael T. said, I will never go to a bar in Orange County again, ever. And we rushed him out before TMZ got there and put him on for fighting,
It's crazy because I have done lots of shows in Orange County, and that was the first time that happened. So it's ironic that
there was a lot of racial context being delivered on that stage, and to me, it got to an offensive point. It wasn't comedy anymore; it was taking digs, and I get it. But There's this one white guy. He's bald and he does humor, racial humor. He makes fun of himself as much as he makes fun of every race that's out there. But he loves talking about black people, and he does it in a form that is hilarious.
He's bald.
I think he's bald. I'm gonna have to look him up for you. We're gonna.
Is it Bill Burr?
Let's play some of his material next week on the show.
Okay,
and then dialogue on it
for sure.
Because it's funny, dude. It's funny. But does that make me a racist? You know what I mean? And I want to see if you laugh or if you're shaking your head. You know what I mean?
I love racial humor. I've never had an issue with it. I don't do a lot of like black versus white comparative jokes. I think they've been done so much. But I definitely will do jokes about everybody: Mexicans, Asians, whites, blacks. I would rather talk about that culture and why it's funny, because a lot of that's relative. But if I just go, oh, black people do this and white people do that, it's like, okay, that's kind of cliche. But all of our cultures have funny people, funny quirks. We have a weird way of doing things. I think it's a way of celebrating it when you crack the joke the right way. I think Bill Burr, I thought this is what you're talking about. He has a great joke about.
No, not Bill Burr.
It's not Bill Burr. He has a great joke about cursing and saying certain ways that white people say it that makes it seem offensive. But when a black person says it, it's hilarious. I won't even do the joke. People go find it. But that way of doing a joke is funny to me. And it's kind of a celebratory way of doing it versus just, oh, why do y'all do this and why do we do that? That way of comparing, I'm cool with.
Yeah. I think there is some good humor that's out there. And
there's a lot.
When I'm just gonna come clean, Karmel, because it's funny. Because I don't say the word ever. I don't say the word ever.
Okay.
When we found these two kittens in a garage, the family found them in a garage, and we adopted them from the family 3 days later. They were about 10 days old. One of them was really big on stripes, and the other one was smooth and they're both tabbies. They're both foodies, extremely loving, extremely funny, playful. And the one with stripes, because he looks like a tiger, but he's super small, we called him Tigger.
Okay.
And so I didn't think about it at the time.
Okay.
And so I catch myself. I was singing a song to Tigger. I'm like, Tigger figure and I'm like, oh my God. And I didn't say it, but it came to an instant funny. And I'm like, oh no. And I started thinking, are people going to think that I named my cat this to, whatever? And I'm like, oh no, because that's his name. His name's Tigger, and he's a cool cat.
Well, what's funny is Tigger in Winnie the Pooh, of all the characters, that if there was some ethnicity to them, he's probably the black character. The dude jumps everywhere. He kind of raps the whole time. He sounds kind of black. And he's called Tigger. I'm just saying, like, it's just interesting. You could have made Eeyore sound like him, but why does Tigger sound?
I just want to come out in advance, come clean, saying, Karmel, that I had no desire to make any racial innuendos, references. Although in the past, I had a rat.
You had a cat and a rat.
No, rat.
A rat.
And this is the crap hole kid I was. This is funny. We called this rat Felch. And I don't want anybody to look that word up, but now that I've said it, everybody's going to look that word up.
Yeah. And
we used to laugh because my mom would be out here, Felchy. We were just cracking up. And it's like that guy that's calling out the name, the principal of the high school, Mike Hunt.
Right.
You have won. Please come forward, Mike Hunt. You know what I mean? We were like, God, we were every day, Felchy. And my mom, watching my mom, that was the best, because then we knew we got one over on her. But that was the only other name that I've done. But I did not pick this name for any other reason that he had stripes and he looked like a tiger. but he was a junior tiger, so he was a Tigger. And I didn't even know that Tigger was the black cat in Winnie the Pooh. I had no idea.
I mean, he's a tiger, but if you listen to him, watch him, he's very ethnically black. And
I had no idea, Karmel. So I just want to apologize in advance that you don't think, because I'm not changing his name. His name's too cool.
No,
that's my boy.
No,
he's my homie. And he's got gold eyes. And he looks at me, and I go like this now, boom, 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 and he jumps all the way up. And it's the best thing in the world. Training your cat when you're home, he's so excited to see you, and then you find out he just wants food.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's how they are.
That's all you're good for. That's all you're good for.
I'm jumping in your arms. Come on, follow me, you know. Anyway, so let's do that next week. Let's talk. Let's bring some comedy up. We'll get serious for a little bit, but let's bring some comedy up and some sketches and talk about whether it should be said or not said and how funny it was. I think that'll be funny.
For sure. And, you know, in honor of Black History Month, because I think it's very...
It's Black History Month?
Yeah, of course. And here's why. People don't understand this, but I'll make it very
clear. For how long?
The whole month.
February?
Yes. There are so many events that we celebrate in February that have to do with Black people. Look, February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. Then you have... Hey, wait. You have George Washington's birthday. Then you have Abe Lincoln's birthday. Then you have Saint Valentine and a chubby white baby. It makes sense to celebrate Black people on that month with all those people.
Oh, those are white people's holidays, is what you're saying. That's what you're saying. Oh, I get it. So we've created holidays for ourselves.
In a month that's supposed to be for
like
Black
Christmas, because Jesus is white, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah.
And I just said not. Everybody calm down.
You're mad? Why are you yelling?
I was going to call you my ex-wife's name after saying that one.
Oh, that's funny. He got triggered.
And the counselor responds, ma'am, he wasn't yelling. He's actually talking to you, and he's actually in a posture that is extremely conducive of, you know, an accepting dialogue. 9 counselors later, right? Anyway, sorry, that's a little personal.
Oh, back your former question you asked about Kash Patel. He passed the Senate panel to go to the Senate for the actual nomination. So
okay, so he's in. Question is, how long are these people going to live, and whether they have the ability? Remember what I said about how they surround them in a room, make them feel real big, scare the crap out of them, try to get them on the path that they think they need to be on. Hey, bro, closing comments. What are we doing here?
I think we got to wait and see when all these people get in office. I mean, like you said earlier, we've got RFK, we've got Elon, Kash Patel. These some heavy hitters. So I really feel like there's gonna be a lot of change. And the thing is, this is happening fast. So people need to get their stuff in order. You need to get your mind.
Remember, I know you have a different opinion, but just remember, Hitler moved fast too.
He did. But my opinion on Hitler is one I don't think we would ever have on your show. But yeah,
really?
Yeah. The whole Nazi thing and all that. Again, it's a whole nother. I've just learned to study things for myself. That's all, and that's all I will tell people. Just study things for yourself. We've been taught certain things for a reason.
Did 6 million Jews die as presented?
Are you asking me that on this show right now? Really?
Yeah.
You
just brought about the fact that there was really a White History Month that needed to have a layer of Black history put over it to take control and dominate. I'm gonna respond and retort. Go ahead, deliver me the answer.
Well, let's just say this: all the census of all the countries around there of Jews didn't change. That's all I'm gonna say.
Karmel, with that being said, I will see you next Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Good night.
All right, bro.
No, number 33 tonight, and that's just between us. And for sure, let's go have a cigar next week at some point and celebrate.
Let's do it.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, bro.
Good night.
All right, y'all.